There was a rough desert wind blowing into Los Angeles that evening. It was one of those hot, dry Santa Anas that come down through the mountain passes and curl your hair, make your nerves jump and your skin itch. On nights like that, every booze party ends up in a fight, and meek little housewives feel the edge of a carving knife and study their husbands' necks. Anything can happen when the Santa Ana blows in from the desert.
People tire easily, argue more. Even the suicide rate rises during the months of the Santa Ana. The devil wind.
People have been affected by the winds as long as there have been people here.
When the Santa Anas blow, all bets are off.
Oh, the Santa Anas are blowing up my dome!
I don't know what it is about the Santa Anas, but I haven't been myself all day.
I think if no one warned you, you'd be a little scared. It's hot. It's dry. It can be difficult to breathe. None of those conditions are comfortable for humans. I like them because I like bad weather.
Well, it makes it warmer all the way around and feels very uncomfortable.
Oh, the Santa Ana winds are just this like hot air.
They're warm?
I drive in my convertible. I know the sawdust and the debris gets in my eyes.
Viento, pues hay muy fuerte los vientos, casi los árboles se caen.
El aire trae mucha bacteria.
Affects my eyes, my sinuses, affects my hay fever terribly.
What would bother me is because I have asthma.
Soy alérgica a todo el polvo, entonces.
I also think it kind of makes people loopy.
Like I just get really annoyed really easily and I get mad.
It disturbs me.
What do I think about the Santa Ana winds being named the Devil's Winds? Well, anything that is named after myself, I must like it at least a little bit, right?
When air descends from the Great Basin to sea level, the increasing amount of air above it creates pressure. This pressure heats the winds and decreases their humidity as they are funneled through the mountain passes, gaining speed and destructive power.
The Santa Ana winds.
Local lore offers several competing explanations for how the winds got their name. One holds that the name finds its origins in a Native American word for wind, which Spanish missionaries, detecting an evil presence in the wind, liked for its similarity to Satan. But scholars who study Native American languages insist that there was no such word. While camping in present-day Orange County in 1769, the Portola expedition supposedly encountered a fierce windstorm on St. Anne's Day. Yet another suggests Mexican dictator Antonio Lopez de Santa Anna as the wind's eponym. The trouble with that theory is that General Santa Anna never entered Southern California, and he spelled his name with 2 N's. Most scholars generally agree that the name derives from Santa Ana Canyon, the portal where the Santa Ana River, as well as the congested Riverside 91 freeway, leaves Riverside County and enters Orange County. It was not until 1880 that the earliest known written use of the name Santa Ana appeared in an article in the Los Angeles Evening Express.
Wriggling into their gear and scrambling toward their stations on the engine. The ranchers, the homeowners, the farmers come awake with a start as they hear them scream by. 170 men are fighting the fire, and the fire is winning.
If you've ever experienced a Santa Ana wind fire, it definitely is something that you never forget. You've got hot ash, you've got dirt, you've got smoke, you've got rocks, you've got pieces of brush that are blowing into your eyes. embers that are pelting your protective clothing. The winds are just that strong. The humidity is just that low. The vegetation is just that dry. It's chaos. It's absolute chaos.
Winds whipping in multiple directions. Hundreds of acres burning, then jumping the freeway.
Thousands of people had to pack up and get out.
These Santa Ana winds, it's scary stuff.
Nothing that influences fire more than wind. 40, 50, 60 mile an hour sustained, gust to 80, 90 miles an hour. You're not going to stop that fire. Rates of spread we're seeing in a Santa Ana fire are just unimaginable. It's not uncommon for fires to spread in the early stages of fire 4 to 6 square miles within an hour.
I actually think that the most dangerous part of a Santa Ana-driven fire is the citizens.
We were quite sure that we weren't going to be in the flames until the last minute when it leaped over the far hillside there, and all of a sudden the whole hill was just in mass of flames, and we just ran for our lives.
Some people think they're going to stay and save their houses, and then they see what they're really up against, and what they've really done is stayed past the point of no return. In a Santa Ana wind-driven fire, about the only fire break that works is the Pacific Ocean.
Ask a lot of surfers and they'll tell you that some of their best waves they've ever had were actually during fires. The smoke was so thick you could barely breathe. It's this guilty, paradoxical pleasure, knowing that your perfect waves are coming at the expense of destruction. The Santa Anas, although they're called the devil winds, they're pretty darn angelic for surfers. Oh, when the Santa Ana is coming into town, everyone gets on the phone. Hey, did you hear there's a Santa Ana coming in? It's gonna be good.
You call in sick to work. It's time to get down to the beach, quick.
Your normal wind is the west wind. It comes from the ocean. It's the sea breeze. The west wind makes the wave crumble, and it just ruins the shape. Whereas an offshore wind, a Santa Ana wind, the wave's approaching, and then it gets hit with this force from the land, and that keeps the wave up. It creates a tube or a barrel.
It's kind of undescribable. It's what all surfers really hope for.
Kids draw pictures of them on their notebooks.
It's pretty spectacular.
Yeah, today's conditions were lousy. If it was the same sort of conditions, but with a Santa Ana, there'd be 100 people out on that same stretch of beach.
Dear Santa Ana winds, send me soft, gusty, offshore winds, and hopefully you'll give me a barrel.
Dear Santa Ana winds, as soon as we're out of the water, you can go away.
There's something uneasy in the Los Angeles air this afternoon. Some unnatural stillness. Some tension. The baby frets. The maid sulks. I rekindle a waning argument with the telephone company, then cut my losses and lie down. Give it over to whatever is in the air. Los Angeles weather is the weather of catastrophe, of apocalypse. The violence, the unpredictability of the Santa Ana, it affects the entire quality of life in Los Angeles. Accentuates its impermanence, its unreliability. The wind shows us just how close to the edge we are.